Oh, hey guys, welcome to another review. This is a movies from the 2000. This is on movies from the sea, and this what I'm gonna do right now is a super rant on one of the worst films I have ever seen in my entire freaking life, and that is the 1961 Abomination done by Roger Corman himself. He directed this, and he was responsible for this abomination, and it's called Creature from the Haunted Sea. I hate this movie. I hate this movie. I freaking hate this movie. This is the worst black and white movie I have ever watched in my entire life. This movie makes no sense. Like a lot of Roger Corman's productions, at least they have some fun factor. There is nothing fun in this movie. Nothing. If you see this movie at a dollar store, don't bother watching it. It's freaking terrible. This movie makes every movie that Roger Corman made before and after look like a masterpiece in comparison. Even the shitty ones that are not this are have something in it that's good. There's nothing good in this movie. There are no actors that you're gonna recognize. The creature itself looks like shit. It's the one of the worst creature designs I've ever seen. It's got these big bulgy eyes, and it looks like the Cookie Monster on crack. And the film is boring. Like it's black and white. The beginning of the film is some guy running, and nothing is happening. It's just a guy running in the streets, and then they get to this island, and these people try to steal the creature's freaking gold. And the whole film is the creature trying to get the thing back, the gold back from the human beings. Does that sound riveting to you? Yeah, maybe in the hands of a capable director, but man, I hate this freaking movie. I hate it so much. I hate this movie. Just thinking about this movie pisses me off. This is a line from the movie. I am not bullshitting you. Some fat Spanish lady on the island says, "You know, like mango." Oh, running. That doesn't even make sense. Why would you ever make a movie that has a line like that? You know, like mango. I'm like, oh God, who wrote this? A freaking monkey? God, it just this movie makes me cringe. Just thinking about it hurts me. It's the worst black and white movie ever made. Nothing will beat it. Nothing, 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 nothing. I can't stand films that are just boring as shit. And it's not even that long. It's like an hour and change. But it's the longest hour and change you're ever going to get. It is in my at least bottom five of the worst films I've ever seen in my life. And I've wanted to rant it about this movie. If I had the disc, I would have destroyed it on camera long before I did this review. I mean, I did. I destroyed the disc years ago because it was so horrible. And I'm like, I don't want that movie in my collection. I hate it. My dad got ripped off. It's one of the worst films that Corman's ever produced, written, directed, whatever. It's got a bunch of nobodies. You're not going to recognize anybody. The film looks like shit. The characters are nothing. It's lifeless. It's soulless. It's boring. It's boring. Why would you, the creature from the haunted sea is the? It's like if you took the creature from the Black Lagoon and you sucked all the life out of it, and you put a bunch of no-name actors and you made the film lifeless and soulless and pointless. Creature from the Black Lagoon has an awesome creature. It's got an awesome score. It's got a gorgeous brunette with the in a bikini, in a one piece bikini that you remember, and the creature's a threat. Here, there's nothing. This is worse than The Creature Walks Among Us, which is the third of the creature films, which is the worst because they take his gills out and he becomes human and then he dies at the end. Here, the creature's horrible. The ending of this movie pissed me off even more than the beginning of it. You know what the ending is of this movie? The creature gets all the gold for himself, and it's like looking happily in the underwater. I'm like, fuck this movie. I hate this movie. I freaking hate this movie. And no, I'm not just doing this for show. I hate this movie. I just can't stand it. Oh, you never heard of it? Well, if you've seen this movie, believe me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It gets a low rating on IMDb for a reason. It's forgotten for a reason. This film is over 50 years old and it's a piece of garbage. It's horrible. Like, it's not just, oh, because it's a low budget. There are a lot of films that Corman did that are low budget that are good, that I like, that he produced or directed, like The Wasp Woman or freaking, Bucket of Blood or the original Little Shop of Horrors. They're tolerable. This is intolerable. It's so slow. It's so boring. It's so freaking pathetic. It's got a song that's one of the worst I've ever heard in the thing. I wish Mystery Science Theater ripped this movie apart because it deserves it. It's like Manos the Hands of Fate. It's completely boring. Nothing happens in the movie. It's just dull. It's the worst black and white movie ever made. I will never forget this movie. Never, never, never. I hate this movie. I hate everything that it stands for. Movies like this should have never been made in the first place. This and Son of the Mask and other movies that were just made to piss people off. And this movie pisses me off. Oh, you never heard of it. So, John, you're ranting on nothing. No. Fembusters may suck, but it's not going to be as bad as this movie because this movie is a travesty of cinema. Oh, it's ripping off Creature from the Haunted. It's just a spoof. It's supposed to be funny. It's not funny. It's horrible. It is horrendous. Stay away from this freaking movie. Please. You will never be the same after watching it. I never was. The movie nearly scarred me. If I had seen this as a kid, I would have hated it. And I've seen a lot of bad movies when I was a kid. This one takes the cake for the one of the worst creature film feature I've ever seen. See, I'm stumbling in my words because it's so freaking terrible. I hate this movie. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Oh man, if I could rip my hair out of my head, I would because I hate this movie so much. If this was a movie from 2016, it would be my number one. But believe me, that list is coming soon. God, this movie is painful, just so lifeless. I don't know how a movie even got like this got made. What was Roger Corman thinking? I don't know what he was thinking. He must have been high as a kite thinking about this bullshit. It really was. Because I don't know why this movie exists. There are better movies that came out before and after. I could see anything that he did before and after this because even if it sucks, it's not the lifeless bore fest that this is. This movie is shit. I hate it. I never want to see it again. I'm glad I never saw it a second time because it's horrible. Even my mom hates this movie. And she has a great taste in films, and I could tell you she hates that movie, and I hate it. I despise it with every fiber of my being. And there is nothing that would make me want to see it again. You could do a riff tracks on it and it would still suck. And the movie is still garbage. And it gets like a 3 point something on IMDb or 4. It deserves a 1. That's what I gave it on IMDb. I would have given it a 0 if they had that. But no, 1. It gets 1 middle finger in the face. Black and white movies shouldn't be this boring. I've seen black and white movies 2 hours long that were more riveting. At least they have good acting, good atmosphere, good performances, good writing, good direction. This has none of the above. It is one of the 50 worst films ever made. If you've seen that list on YouTube, check it out because this piece of garbage is there. It's laughable, it's horrible, it's boring, it's lifeless, it has nobody that you give a shit about. It's got Spanish that with subtitles you can't even read them because they're so bright. The screen's so bright you look like you're going blind. It sucks. It's the worst black and white movie ever made, and nothing I ever see will be any worse. Nothing. Oh man, this movie's painful. I'm sorry I had to do this rant, but it had to be done. It takes place in the sea, has the word sea in it. It's a piece of shit, and I had to destroy it. I feel like just smashing something right now because of how mad I am. But I hate this movie. I hate this. This is the film that if just hearing the title just pisses me off. And Roger Corman, you'd have done better than this. I respect you, man. You've done a lot of films that I've enjoyed. You've produced many films that I can see at a B level. It's awesome. This is your worst film that you've ever directed, produced, or touched. And I would destroy this movie, every copy of this movie, and burn it, and may it burn in hell. I hate this movie. This is this is a piece of shit that deserves to be buried with every bad movie ever made. That's insulting to human intelligence. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this rant. I had to get this out because I've hated this movie for almost 10 years, and I can't stand thinking about it again. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for commenting. You guys are awesome. But man, it was hard to talk about this movie because there's nothing to talk about. Nothing happens. This movie doesn't have a plot. It's just boring event after boring event until you get to the end, which is insulting. So basically, the humans lose. Yeah, what a freaking slap in the face to mankind, isn't it? Fuck this movie. I hate this movie. It gets two thumbs down, two middle fingers in the face, and believe me, after when I see Suicide Squad, nothing is going to be worse than this. Nothing. Even Margot Robbie going, "Ugh," will not be insulting like this. Believe me. May this movie burn in hell. Later.